Okay, all right. I'm going to put Eric on.
I wasn't quite sure how we wanted to format it.
Did you see the student example?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let me before I go to Eric, let me just show you guys, in case you missed it, this project 2. And let's make sure I actually did it correctly. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, let's see. And I'm sorry about the reading. I know I probably confused you. I realized that I'm reading the hard copy of the book, and I've been giving you segments out of a newer edition, which was a PDF. And so I thought that the chapter that I uploaded contained everything that I had been reading, but they've reorganized it a little bit. So I added the next chapter and uploaded that, and made sure that you could answer the quiz questions from the digital version. And you should have noticed, too, that Module 7.8 should be available. Let me know if you have any trouble finding any of that.
Oh,
So, yeah.
The first one that says Chapter 5, it's actually a redo of Chapter 6. So actually, when you have the 2 pages up, it's both Chapter 6.
Oh, Lord, what did I do? Okay, week 5, 6. These are different things?
Yes,
oh, right.
the Chapter 5 is Chapter 6.
I am an idiot. Oh, my gosh. Okay, let me fix that.
Yeah.
All right, I will open back up the quiz. I've already given everybody 2 attempts on it. So let me know. Let's see. Where is it? Chapter 5. There we go. I'll save it. It should be still available to you. Can you guys check it out and see if I fixed that link now?
Hey, Julia, Sophie still says she hasn't been able to get the call or anything.
Huh.
Yeah, I've been having the same problem every now and then. So.
Tell her is she logged into Google?
Let me see.
Are you planning to Treviso in Venice? What? I'll ask you in a minute.
Just make sure she's logged in at Google. Okay, can somebody check the readings for week 5, 6?
I'm trying to find where I found it.
If you just go into the modules and then check week 5, 6. And then the reading watching should be working. I'm going to double check week 7, 8. It should be the next chapter.
Yeah, Sophie said that she's logged in and on your page on Google+.
Okay. I don't know what to do. I've never had that problem before. Can she chat with us?
Basic Principles of Information Architecture Part 2 is Chapter 5, correct?
Is that a question for me?
Yes.
Are you talking about the week 5, 6 reading?
The Chapter 5.
It should be correct. I'm asking you. Go check it.
I'm asking if that's the title, because that's what I see as Basic Principles of Information Architecture Part 2.
Yes. It's
Okay,
kind of like...
so let's go down and say Chapter 5. Yep, this is it.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's look at project 2. I don't know what to tell Sophie. Is she in Google?
Yeah, that's what she said. I'm chatting with her also on Facebook.
Well, I wonder if I can email her a link to join the call. Let's see. Okay. I'm sending her a link to join the call. Hey, if you're messaging with her, Katie, here,
Yep.
I'm going to put it in here.
Okay.
There she is. Can you tell her to click on that link? Okay, I'm gonna go to project 2 and hopefully she'll get on here. Did you get my link, Katie?
Yeah, and I sent it.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, project 2. I did post some sample projects here. So the first part of the project was just this very beginning. So she was looking at the Missouri History Museum. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, you're not. I think I forgot to share again. Hang on a sec. I'll screen share. Entire screen share. Ah, there's Sophie. Hi.
Hi. I don't know why.
I'm glad you persisted because you made it work.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just looking at project 2. I just pulled up one of the previous student projects. I added 3 here at the bottom, like I said I was going to last week. And this is Olivia's, who, I don't know if you guys like the INTM webpage, but she's the one who just got a job. She's got a job as a web developer for MasterCard, so she's really excited about that. And she said that her projects from this class in interface design were really helpful for her portfolio, and they commented on them a lot, and they really liked them. So do a good job on these projects. Okay, so there's the statement of objectives. She did her initial flow chart just in outline format. I think she eventually went and mocked it up here. But these are the user scenarios. So she's picking 3 completely different people and imagining what they might be doing with the website. Those are the user scenarios that I wanted you guys to start on first. And now here this is a little bit redundant because this is her flowchart of the existing architecture of the website. So this is the first part of the project, identifying the website, creating the user scenarios, and creating a flowchart of the existing site architecture. Then we're going to do something called a card sort, and that is explained in the video that I assigned for you guys today. I mean, for week 7, 8. So this week, next week. You can work on it over spring break too. So you have 3 weeks basically to watch the card sort video and get it done. And if you're curious about how the next parts of the project play out, you can see that, you know, this is the existing site architecture. And maybe I don't know, she must have done different drafts. This is the result of her card sort. And this is an analysis of the card sort. And this is the final wireframe. I guess this flowchart must be the revised site architecture that was based on the card sort. She should have presented that later, but that's essentially what's involved in this project. I'll show you another example. So here's her statement of objective of the website and the existing architecture of the site. Here are her user scenarios. Then she talks about her card sorting process, the results of the card sort. Then she did a reverse sort. These are the results. And then her site architecture has changed. which just looking at this very, very quickly, I think is really interesting because what you've learned so far is that a good site architecture has depth and breadth, and this just off the bat looks like a more intuitive structure than what we see in the initial one, where you have some areas that go nowhere and then some that have lots and lots and lots and lots of options there. And then this is her wireframe. It's a little bit hard to see with the colors. Her wireframe is a little bit weak because it doesn't really have much more on it, but you can see the same elements basically are there in both of the projects. So I'll show you the other one. Her objective statement, she did the Fox Theater. Her user personas, the existing information architecture, is learning how to develop a flowchart that makes sense to people and using colors sensitively. Here's her card sort. You're probably wondering, gosh, how come everybody picked the same colors in terms of presenting their results from the card sort? There's an online software, an online application that most of them use to do the card sort. You can do the card sort manually, but most of the students picked the online application to do their card sort. And that particular software creates these kinds of graphs as well. So you're welcome to include them when they're meaningful in your final report. Then here's the revised information architecture. And she talks about why these changes were made. And here is the revised wireframe. So this is kind of clever because she did the wireframe over the existing site to kind of show how things would change. And this wireframe design is informed, obviously, by the site architecture, the revised flowchart that she created, and then also learning what people are looking for based on the results of the card sort. That informed her about what she wanted to highlight and put up top in her site architecture. I mean, sorry, in her design. Do you guys have any questions?
Is there any software to use for the wireframe? Should we use Illustrator or Photoshop?
There are different online software, and I should recommend some. That's a good. And I've looked into some of these. I can't think of any off the top of my head because I always use Illustrator. But there are some great tools, and I will post those on the site. So let me get back to you on that one. I happen to use Adobe Illustrator. But
so Adobe Illustrator does the card sort thing?
No. It's an online tool, and they talk about it in the lynda.com video. I can't remember what it's called, but basically you follow step by step exactly what you learn in the lynda.com video.
Okay.
And I think, how long is it? I think I told you how long the video is, just so that you kind of know what you're in for. And there are a couple of quiz questions that are based on what you learn in the lynda.com video, but it should be pretty obvious. You know, you no need to take like extensive notes for the purpose of the quiz. I tried to make it really obvious if you've watched the video. The reason why you're watching the video is to learn how to do a card sort and to learn what tools to use to do that. I just want to see how long that video is. I do think I mentioned how long it is.
It's like an hour and 6 minutes.
Okay. Oh, I said 2 hours. Oh, well. Well, you'll be happy if it's shorter, right?
Oh, never mind. I was thinking for the last week. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a 2-hour-long course that goes over card sorts and reverse sorts. Do you guys have questions? Okay.
I feel like I need to look at it all some more. I kind of missed the overview last week, and I've been crazy busy with this video project that I haven't really looked at it much. But
No worries. if anybody wants to have their work reviewed at this point, I think we should go ahead and do that. And I know Eric said he has stuff, so I'm going to let Eric share his screen. Mm-hmm.
I did heifer.org, which
Mm-hmm.
is a charitable site, and they accept donations for countries.
Hold on one second. Can you guys hear Eric? Why don't I turn my sound off and let Eric, why don't you turn your sound off? Because his audio will come through his computer now.
Actually, be the solution. But then, I guess, then they wouldn't be able to hear you.
I know, I'll shut up.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
I'll talk in a minute.
Yeah, we can go back and forth. Let me find where, okay. So, should I show the actual website, or should I just go through what I wrote up?
Go through what you've done so far. You can show, if it makes sense, if you need to explain what's going on the site, you can.
Okay.
Can everybody hear you? Will you ask them if they...
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so the objective of the site is to basically increase awareness of different charitable causes and ultimately end poverty and world hunger and stuff like that. So the website is broken down into a variety of sections, and it's a pretty elaborate site. I had to dig deep into a lot of different pages to see everything they offered. So on the home page, there's a bunch of different tabs, and there's about education, partner support, gift catalog, ending hunger and poverty, what you can do, join the conversation, another catalog thing. And then in those categories, there's a bunch of subcategories. And the way it's broken down, when you go to a specific page, it has a little breadcrumb on top showing you where you are in terms of navigation. So I basically dig deep into each individual page and created this kind of hierarchical list of the pages. So I'm pretty sure I got all the pages. And then if we scroll down more, I was pretty brief with the user scenarios, and I can elaborate on this. But I guess when I first saw the site, I fit into the first category, someone who knows nothing about heifer and just learning what they're about. And then I guess there's someone else who might log or visit to donate if they're looking to donate to a specific cause. And then another user could be like a student who's doing research on charities and seeing what's out there and what causes people care about. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna unmute.
Where did you go? Planning.
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, Eric, the next step is obviously to flush out, create a character, those user personas, and part of that exercise, you'll notice, is they're looking to do something very specific. So instead of saying someone looking to donate, it's Mary Jones inherited $30,000 from her mother, who always had, wanted her to donate $1,000, like $1,000 to a charity that helped with poverty or something like that. So create very specific user personas with a very specific task in mind that they're trying to accomplish on the site. And it's best to do that kind of before you spend too much time looking at it, because there's where you're going to find the flaws. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to the site as Mary. Where the hell is the donate button? You know what I mean? And then that's when you're going to discover some of these flaws in terms of the information architecture. So come up before, I know you've done what you've done already, and that's fine, and you probably don't remember everything that you saw, but it probably makes more sense to identify the user personas before digging in so deep and diagramming everything. And for flowcharting, I mean, I use Illustrator. I've at work where they've used InDesign to do flowcharts. There are also online flowcharting tools, and I know that's going to be the next one. You have? What do you like?
I mean, it's been a while since I've used it. I found the list is not good.
The list? Oh, making an outline. Right. And that's fine sometimes. I think for the purpose of this assignment, we want to see how the physical structure is going to change through this process. Plus, I also want you to make a really attractive flowchart, which I always thought was kind of a stupid waste of time. But when I was in grad school, I had this one professor who was a designer from RISD, just, you know, really particular about design. And when he and his company would go out and they would pitch projects, they'd get a project for a client or whatever, they'd make these beautiful flow charts. I mean, they were just really attractive and really cool. And I thought, oh, that's a little bit overkill, isn't it? And what he said is that, I mean, these would have to be projects with a significant budget, but they would design these beautiful flow charts and then they would have them printed as posters and shipped off to the client. And then the client would get the poster and like, dang, this looks cool. This company's going to build the coolest thing for us. And they put it up on their wall and stuff, and it just sort of got buy-in from the client, and it was also, it just did more in terms of communicating what kind of a company they were and their attention to design. And they're going to use that attention to when they actually build the site. So that's what I want you to be thinking of as you are creating your flowchart. Do you guys have any comments about anything? No? Does anybody, it's totally fine with me if you guys don't have much to share. I don't, you'll to understand what we're doing. Oh, I can't hear anybody. There we go.
Yeah, you cut out halfway through that one.
Oh, I
And there you go again. Having connection issues, maybe?
Ooh, this is fun.
Hey, Eric, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Maybe? Let her know that she's having issues.
I think you can.
my computer died.
There we go.
Alright.
So does anybody want to show anything else?
I got that project one I finally got caught up on and submitted last night. If I could just.
Good. Go ahead.
Alright.
Share your screen.
You want a chair?
Oh, thanks.
Is there a button to share your screen?
It's over on the left-hand side. It's like a green computer with an arrow.
Oh, okay. Alright. Alright. And then it was my first time using Illustrator, so I was a little confused. But it was pretty much how often I contacted one person over this girl I know and stuff over the course of 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used the different backgrounds to show what time of day it was, like morning, day 1 through 3, afternoon, day 1 through 3, and then night. And then I have a key at the bottom, and then each color in the graph represents what day it was, and then how many times a message was sent.
Right.
I was trying some of the other graphs. I know it's not the best, but it was.
No, I get it now. It just took me a second to get it.
Yeah, I tried doing pie graphs and stuff, but I couldn't really get it to work or make sense. So.
Do you guys have any comments?
Nope, none here.
I think it's really cool. I like the layout and how it's divided with like the background pictures. It'd be nice if there was some kind of consistency with the pictures.
Okay.
If, either like you had the same kind of landscape, or if you maybe blurred them a little bit just so they had some, I don't know, just visual consistency.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I also don't think you'd need the key for the icons, because I
Yeah.
think the icons are pretty universal. Like everyone knows Facebook and Snapchat.
Yeah. I wasn't sure. I was just looking at some of the other people's, and I saw that they had keys and stuff. I figured it'd be pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, I didn't think I needed them. But that's a good point.
I do really
Go ahead.
Sorry, I do really like the images in the background. I think it adds like a more design instead of just like a plain, gray or something as the background. So.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah.
Careful with the clouds down there because it blends out the numbers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I should have been more consistent with the backgrounds. Maybe the same one with different times of day.
Or if you had like a panoramic one, then like one left, one middle, one right, or something like that.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
It took me a while to figure out, like, I was thinking, oh, this is day 1, day 2, day 3, and then I didn't understand why the backgrounds were different. So
Yeah.
I would maybe think about doing more prominent headers that were like evening communications, daytime communications, and then you could add further detail. This is in 4 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. or
Okay.
something so that we can look at this very quickly and see, I get it. This is night, morning, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to go about that too. That's a really good point. Because I was thinking I'd maybe do day 1 and then a graph, like a straight up and down bar graph, and then day 2 and have 3 graphs on each page, but I thought it'd be too cluttered. So I think changing the header would be a good idea.
And I think that you can add more dimensions of information. I like the way that you've interpreted this assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what's confusing, Jamil?
What?
You use a different scale on each one of these graphs.
I don't know how to change the dimensions on the scale, you know what I'm saying? Because I obviously contacted more times at night, and so like it just stretched it out that way because there's that many more. But that is confusing now that I look at it again.
Because, I mean, we would immediately get, my impression when I looked at this, and I don't know what you guys think, but my impression looked like, okay, you're about having the same amount of communication with her through all 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really dramatically skewed into the evening.
Okay.
I mean, when I look at it more closely, because the scale is different.
Okay.
You might have to do this manually, see where 15 lines up. Like I'm looking at the middle one versus the bottom one.
Mm-hmm.
So see where 15 lines up, and